everybody, welcome to the JoeGa Joy and to this hip hip hooray workout. Yes, it's going to be concentrating on the hips. We store a lot of emotions in our hips, so being able to work through them, mobilizing them, increasing a bit of mobility, increasing a bit of flexibility, getting warmth in there, flushing the blood through is really beneficial on many levels. So I hope you enjoy this. It is a bit tough. There are some challenging asanas in there. But if you stick with it, you don't have to get all the way down. You can work halfway or you can miss them out altogether. Just do the best you can. It is a fantastic uplifting routine, so it will help with any emotional baggage you've got going on, letting go of anything that is just dragging you down. So keep smiling and keep trying. If you do enjoy it, of course, please like, share and subscribe, and any comments, get in touch in the boxes below. So we're just going to start off kneeling if you can. If kneeling is not in your practice, come to sitting, it's absolutely fine. And we're going to come down into a child's pose. Now you can do that as a traditional child's pose, or you can do that as a wide-legged swan pose.
Nice, juicy child's pose. Breathe and relax. Extend your arms out in front of you and soften. Breathe. Let go. Observe your inhale. Observe your exhale. Try and make them of equal length. Count to 3 on the inhale. Exhale 3, either through the nose or through the mouth. Please make your breath your anchor. Things feel uncomfortable. Come back to your breath. Bring your attention to your breath. Bring your attention to your breathing. Just allow your breath to anchor you back into the present. Let's do a selfless practice today. So bring to mind somebody who is in need of love or energy and dedicate your practice to them. Bring your forehead to the floor and gently massage your forehead against the ground, rocking your head from side to side. And then come to center. Thread your right hand underneath the left, palm facing upwards, stretching into the shoulder, Practises from child. Keep everything as close to the floor as you can, or on the floor if possible. Slowly come out of the pose and switch sides, left under right, threading through and relaxing down. Just feel that relax and release, let go. Come back to center and push up onto all fours. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, little gap between the legs, hands shoulder width apart. Just mobilizing the spine now. Drop your chest and belly down, lift up, squeeze into cow pose. Exhale out, roll up and push into cat. Sometimes called angry cat. Drop down cow, sometimes called happy cat. And just work through this, mobilizing, lifting and lowering, rounding and releasing. Just keep moving, flowing on breath. Lifting and releasing. Now come back to center to a neutral spine. From here down dog. Maybe pedal out the heels here. Maybe rise onto tiptoes. Maybe rocking from side to side. Just introduce some movement as you feel that you enjoy it today. Now come to stillness. Just make sure your alignment is on point. Spread your fingers out like starfish. Hands shoulder width apart. Pressing your chest back towards your thighs. Back nice and long. Trying not to dip or round. Hips raised. Legs slightly soft at the knees. Feet hip width apart. Heels moving towards the floor but not resting on the floor. Beautiful Adho Mukha Svanasana. Slowly walk your feet so that your toes come behind your wrists if you can. Don't worry if you need to bring those hands off the floor, coming into forward fold towards the front of your mat. Now just take your feet so they're mat width apart here. Bend your knees and bring your hands to the floor and lower your hips down. Coming into yogi squat or malasana. Bring your hands into prayer, pressing your elbows into your thighs, and stay here if you can. Gentle rock side to side, massage and open those hips, warming them up. If this is okay for you, make fists. Bring your fists to touch. More power, straight arms, straight wrists, and push those elbows wide. And then right hand comes to the floor. Lift your left hand up into sunshine arms. Stretching one side. And then switch, left hand down, right hand raises. Good. Come back to center. Put your hands on the floor and lift your hips towards the sky and heel toe your feet back together. Take hold of the opposite elbows and just let yourself hang in ragdoll. Relax into this pose. Soften the knees, chest onto your thighs. Let gravity pull you down, just releasing and letting go. Now slowly on an out breath with control, roll up one vertebrae at a time as slow as you can. Super, super slowly rolling up. Slow, slow ascent. Stand at the top of your mat, just slightly before the top. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart in Tadasana. Or if you have lower back issues, step the feet apart and come into Samastitihi. Thighs engaged, shoulders up, back and down, knees pulled up. Firm and solid without being totally rigid. Inhale, hands above your head. Exhale, forward fold and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Straight legs, straight back. Exhale, fold forwards. Step back into plank and lower onto your knees and lower into Ashtanga Mudra. Take an inhale and push through into Cobra, Bhujanganasana. And then exhale into Child's Pose and push up into Downward Facing Dog. Step up to the hands, right, left. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Lift and rise. your hearts. Take a breath, raise the hands above the head, folding forwards and down, Uttanasana. Halfway lift and release. Step back, plank down, Ashtanga, and through into Cobra. And exhale, release through Child and come into Downward Facing Dog. Step up to the front of your mat, left, right. Halfway lift and release down, forward fold. Climb and rise, lift the hands above the head in prayer and draw the energy into your heart. Let the hands go, take a breath and release. If you've moved away, come back towards the front of your mat. Inhale, lift the hands above the head, flow forwards. Halfway lift and release. Step back into a plank, lower down, into Ashtanga Mudra and push through into Bhujanganasana, the Cobra. Exhale when you're ready into Downward Facing Dog. Hold here and pedal. And then raise your right leg to the sky. Bend your right knee and open your hips into Kicking Donkey or Split Dog. Roll that knee up to your elbow and step the foot between the hands. Lift up into Balancing Warrior One and then bring the hands down and walk the hands inside towards the left, turning into Ardha Malasana, half garland pose. If you can, balance here. Roll the hips to the left. Use the hands on the floor if you need to. Turn and lift here into Balancing Warrior One. And then bring your hips back down into Ardha Malasana and roll your hips back to the right foot. Turn into High Lunge and step back into Downward Facing Dog. Roll forwards into Plank. Drop your knees down. Lower chest to Ashtanga Mudra and push into Cobra. And exhale into Downward Facing Dog. Lift your left leg now. Bend your knee. Open your hip. Split Dog. Kicking Donkey. Bring that knee into nose and step that foot up between your hands. Climb and rise into Balancing Warrior One. And then bring your hands down to the floor and turn towards the right, bringing your heels and hips together. Roll your body through, either hands walking the floor or keep them raised, bringing your hips to the right heel. Turn into a high lunge and lift into Warrior One. Let's repeat that now. Drop yourself down to the floor. Roll your hips down towards your right heel. Scoot along to the left, high lunge, and step back into Downward Facing Dog. Hold and breathe here. So let's move through Vinyasa, plank, knees down, drop down into Cobra, open, and exhale up into Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, look up, step up right, left, into the top of your mat. Into that nice forward fold. Exhale, lift halfway, release down, and then reverse, roll up through your spine to Tadasana. Inhale, hands above head, into prayer. Exhale, forward fold, coming down into Uttanasana. Step back, knees down, lower down all the way to the mat, either Chaturanga or Ashtanga. Come through into cobra or up facing dog, and then exhale out into down dog. Lift your right leg, bend your knee and open your hip. Knee comes into elbow and step your foot into your hands. Inhale, raise your hands into a balancing warrior one, and then turn into warrior two. Just check your alignment. Check your front knee is not overshooting your ankle. Check your back leg is straight. Your body is facing towards the side. Your arms are at equal length. And your head is looking forwards. So flip your front palm now. We're coming into sun warrior, reverse warrior. Reach. And then come back into warrior two. And then bring the elbow onto the thigh, extending the back arm towards the sky. Asana. Drop the back hand down, so you're coming into lizard pose. You can drop the back knee if you need to. Just see where feels good for you. Whichever option is good for you. And then make your way back into down dog when you're ready. Exhale out into plank. Lower down chaturanga or ashtanga. Move through cobra and upward facing dog. And then lift up into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg towards your sky. Draw that knee into the elbow and step the foot up between the hands. Raise up, crescent lunge, balancing warrior one. And then exhale, open out into warrior two. Flip the palm and stretch up into that sun warrior, reverse warrior. Breathe and reach. And then switch and change. Bring the elbow onto the front thigh and lift that back arm to the sky. Asana. Bring your hands down to the floor, turning into lizard pose, remembering that you can lower that back knee if you wish to. So now step that foot back to the right. And we're going to come through vinyasa, roll through into plank, keep the upper body lifted. Drop down through the arms, ashtanga or chaturanga, and push through into bhujanganasana or utthita svanasana, the upward facing dog. And then lift and roll back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. Step up to halfway. Legs straight, back straight. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, bring the hands above the head into prayer, and exhale, pull them down into your heart center, into Tadasana. Pause and breathe. Inhale, the hands above your head, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step back. Drop your knees and lower down all the way to the floor. Come into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale into downward facing dog. Pause and pedal here. Just let everything release and let go. And then lift your right leg into the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. And then bring that knee to touch the elbow. Bring it between the hands. Inhale, lift and rise. Crescent lunge, balancing warrior one. Exhale out into warrior two. Flip your front palm and reverse the warrior, scooping the sun's rays down onto you. And then release back into warrior two. And then right hand to the floor if you can. If not, rest that elbow on the thigh. Keep reaching up through the back hand. Now reach that top hand over alongside the ear on the diagonal. And then roll round into lizard, remembering that you can drop the back knee. Maybe you can drop down onto your forearms. Maybe you can lift the back toe. Just play with the posture, see what feels right for you. And then wrap that right hand around the right ankle. And then drop the back foot into Warrior Two stance. See if you can open the chest now, lift and reach that left hand up towards the sky. Then see if you can wrap that left hand round your back, and maybe you can even bind with the right hand. If not, just stay at the maximum posture you can achieve. Really turn and open that chest towards the ceiling. Open, open, open. Lift the chest. Now bring your hands down to the floor and step back into downward facing dog. Let's come through Vinyasa, roll out into plank, Ashtanga or Chaturanga. Nice. Bring it round into Cobra, upward facing dog. And then push into downward facing dog. We're doing it on the second side now. Lift the left foot, open the knee and open the hip. Bring that left knee into the elbow. Step the foot in between the hands. Inhale. Lift up into crescent lunge, balancing Warrior One. And exhale out into Warrior Two. Check your form. Turn your front palm and reach up into Sun Warrior, Reverse Warrior. Windmill through. Bring that left hand down to the floor or rest that elbow on the thigh. And lift the right to the sky. If you feel settled and you have a little bit more to give, reach the right hand in a diagonal. So make a straight line from fingertips to toe tips. Bring your hands to the floor and turn on your toes so you're into your lizard pose. Again, remember you can drop the back knee and come onto those elbows. Just play with the posture, knee down, knee up, elbows up, combinations of these. So, let's wrap that left hand under and through around the left leg. Turn the back foot, the right foot down into Warrior Two feet and start to reach the right hand to the sky. And then see you have the option here to wrap or to bind. So wrap that arm around the back, see if you can reach it with the left hand. Again, take time to breathe and release here, opening the chest, really lifting it up towards the sky. Slowly unwrap and unfurl, hands down. And come back to downward facing dog for Vinyasa. Roll into plank. Roll through Ashtanga, Chaturanga, Bhujanganasana, Utthita, Mukha Svanasana, and then Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step up to the top of your mat, lift up halfway, and then fold forward and down. Breathe and lift the hands up above the heart and then above the head, and draw them back into your heart center and release. So relax. Super well done. Taking one more round. Take a breath in, lift up. Fold forwards. Lift halfway and release. Step back on your right leg and lift and rise into balancing warrior one. Drop the hips down and come into that Ardha Malasana, turning towards the side. Roll your hips back towards that right heel. Turn and roll to the back. Lift up and float and balance warrior one. Turn yourself back down into Ardha Malasana, remembering you can bring the hands to the floor if you need to, if you're wobbly. Roll the hips back to the left heel and turn yourself round into high lunge. Step back into downward facing dog. Lift and raise the right leg, open the hip and touch the knee to the elbow. And then step that leg back into that kicking donkey. Flick the foot up between the hands, drop the heel and open and rise into warrior two. Now turn your feet to face towards the side and undulate the spine down through Prasarita and lift up again. Turn the left foot and come into warrior two facing towards the back of your mat. Roll yourself back to center, undulate down and up through Prasarita, and then turn the feet again into warrior two. Take a windmill over into high lunge and step back into downward facing dog. Take a spring forwards, bringing the feet either side of the hands, coming up into Malasana, the garland pose, yogi squat. Lift the heart, make the fists, press the elbows together into the knees and open wide through the hips. Sunshine arms, lift the right, left hand down and change. Right down, left up. Bring your hands to the floor, lift your hips, roll up through your spine, gather your energy above you, hands into prayer, draw your hands into heart, or step and jump your feet together. Take a breath in, lift the arms up overhead and flow forwards and down, forward fold. Halfway lift and release. Step back on the left leg. Climb and rise into floating warrior one. And turn and drop the hips towards that right heel. Scoot your bottom over to the left. Turn into high lunge and then raise into that crescent lunge, floating warrior one facing towards the back. Turn yourself back, drop your hips to your left heel. Scoot yourself forwards to the right. Turn into high lunge and step back into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg towards the sky, bend the knee, open the hip, kicking donkey, split dog. Draw the elbow towards the knee and then lift back up into that split dog again. Bring the foot forwards and step up between the hands. Turn and open the back foot, lift and rise, opening into warrior two. Turn the feet to face towards the side. Undulate and wave through the spine, down through Prasarita, up again. Turn the feet towards the back of the room and come into warrior two. Turn the feet, undulate the spine down and up and turn back into warrior two at the top of your mat. Take a breath and step back into downward facing dog. Look to your hands, jump your feet forwards into Malasana, lift the body, drop the tailbone, bring the fists in and press the knees wide. Sunshine arms, right hand down, left hand lifts, and change. Right hand lifts, left hand down. Bring both hands to the floor, lift your hips, climb and through your spine, bring your hands together and bring them into your heart, jump your feet together. Inhale, raise the arms to the sky. Fold forwards, lift halfway and release. Step your right foot back into high lunge. Lift and raise your arms to the sky into balancing warrior one. And then bring your hands down on the inside of that left foot and wrap your left hand around and underneath that left leg. Take the back knee down if you need to. Turn the back foot out into those warrior two feet and raise and twist and open the chest to the right. Take a breath in and lower it down. Bring the hands to a position that you can step back into down dog. Roll through vinyasa, plank, ashtanga mudra chaturanga. Come through into up dog and roll back into downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Lift your right leg into kicking donkey, open that hip. And then take that foot up between the hands, coming into high lunge. Lift and raise through the body into balancing warrior one. Draw your hands into your heart, elbows wide. Now balance as you bring that back left knee to touch the left elbow. And then step back into a nice big high lunge, hands to the ground. Step forwards into Uttanasana. Lift halfway and release. Climb and rise, bring the arms above the head into prayer and draw them into your heart. Give thanks. Inhale, exhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, fold forwards and down. Lift halfway and release. Take a step back on the left leg, big high lunge. Lift and rise through the body into balancing warrior one. Bring the hands down on the inside of the leg and wrap that right hand underneath the right leg, bringing your right thumb to your right little toe. Now see if you can drop the back heel and twist and open to the left side, bringing your heart to the left. Drop the hands down, rearrange and step back into downward facing dog. Roll through vinyasa, plank, chaturanga, ashtanga, Bhujanganasana or Uttita Mukha Svanasana, and finish off in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift that left leg to the sky, open the hip and swish that leg up between your hands. Lift and rise into balancing warrior one. Bring the hands into heart, elbows wide. Bring that right knee to touch the right elbow and step back into high lunge. Step forwards into Uttanasana and climb and rise through your spine, bringing your hands overhead towards your heart. Really well done. It's time now to come down to the mat, so make your way down into pose of a child. Relax, allow your body to release and have a rest. This child's pose you can do with knees wide, or you can do it with your knees together, whichever you prefer. Hold and let go. When you're ready, make your way over onto your back and take a nice juicy Shavasana. You've earned it, well done. Take time to wriggle and wiggle and let go of any tension, stress or strain that's in your body. And then just relax down, release and let go. Please feel free to remain in Shavasana as long as you wish to. For me now, I'm going to rise to a sitting position and bring my hands into prayer. If you wish to join me, you can, or just bring your hands into prayer at your heart center as you lie. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Have a wonderful, beautiful, fulfilling and spiritual day. Namaste.